Good evening and welcome to Gana Short. Gana Short में आप सबका स्वागत है. Yeah, you've seen it. There are no free lunches for Pakistan. It's a beautiful picture I picked off the Twitter, where Asim Munir is serving Iran on a plate to Trump. This is a very powerful image. This is a very powerful image for people in Pakistan and people in Iran. And this is not going to go away from their minds. And you'll have repercussions of this as you go along. Right? Right. Before I start the whole, proceedings, I'd request all viewers, like Yogesh says, please like and click the thumbs up button, subscribe to Gunner Shot, and become a member if you can. If you want to do a good, Samaritan's work, and share this video with your family and friends. I find there's a bit of a, slump in people who are subscribing. Either I'm not good enough or the heat has gone off. Whichever. Right. The second thing which I thought I'll put across is garbage. General Sir, someone in Pentagon is seriously taking notes from your videos in Tibet, in current Chinese political environment. Walker, Turk, UNHRC raised human rights issues in Tibet and Xinjiang. Timing. Thanks a lot for this input. So come Sunday, we'll see how we can make Tibet free. I'll give a plan out. And I hope someone else has a look at it. Right, but let's get back to our subject proper. There are no free lunches for Pakistan in this whole story. And who says so? That's the important thing.
अमेरिकन माइंड को समझे. देयर इज नो फ्री लंच. हर चीज की कीमत है, और वो जो कीमत है वो अगर पाकिस्तान अदा करने के लिए तैयार है तो सारा नजरिया पाकिस्तान को दफन करना पड़ेगा. पाकिस्तान.
Imran Khan says this. He said this long back, and I agree with him 200%. There are no free lunches for Pakistan. And if Pakistan has to get a free lunch, there's a cost which it has to pay. And he's very right in saying, understand America. But then there are more issues. Let me go one step further. Let me put it this way. Today's talk or today's discussion, I'm going to have a discussion with all of you, is not about Pakistan. It's about India. Pakistan is my medium. I'm going to discuss more about what's in it for India and what is the scenario unfolding in front of us and how should we act. That's the thing which I told you in the morning. In the morning podcast, I did say, look, what the interaction a Prime Minister had with President Trump is very, very significant. Because never in my life, I may make it again, never in my life I've heard any of our Prime Ministers talk that way to the President of USA, barring Mrs. Indira Gandhi. That was in 1971 when she walked off Nixon. Change scenes, change stature, change everything, but the tone was the same. And that message is important for us to understand, because the subtext of what our Prime Minister conveyed to Mr. Trump is very important strategically, and we're going to analyze that. But then, a lot of it is about Pakistan, and we'll talk about it. It's my view, it's my considered opinion that irrespective of, the outcome of this war, how it goes, whether Iran becomes, there's a regime change, whether it's nuclearized, not nuclearized, and whether what happens to Israel, it doesn't matter. India will benefit from this war. It might not be financial, but reputational, trust, which is a very, it has no cost on it. We must understand India is good with Israel and Iran. And this will not change irrespective of the outcome of this war. Forget about US for some time. Overall, you'll see in the short, medium, and long term, India's overall position will improve vis-a-vis Pakistan. It will also improve vis-a-vis China in this entire region. The dice is rolling. We have to read the tea leaves or smell the tea leaves, as they say. So I'll start with this. It's a 4-minute thing, but I want everyone to listen to this, and you'll yourself make your mind up as to what was conveyed, and I'll analyze it later. Okay, let's go.
प्रधानमंत्री मोदी और राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप की मुलाकात G7 समिट की साइडलाइंस पर होनी तय थी। राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप को जल्दी वापस अमेरिका लौटना पड़ा, जिसके कारण ये मुलाकात नहीं हो पाई। इसके बाद राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप के आग्रह पर आज दोनों लीडर्स की फोन पर बात हुई। बातचीत लगभग 35 मिनट चली। 22 अप्रैल को पहलगाम आतंकी हमले के बाद राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप ने फोन पर प्रधानमंत्री मोदी को शोक संवेदना प्रकट की थी और आतंक के खिलाफ समर्थन व्यक्त किया था। उसके बाद दोनों लीडर्स की ये पहली बातचीत थी। इसलिए प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप से ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के बारे में विस्तार से बात की। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप को स्पष्ट रूप से कहा कि 22 अप्रैल के बाद भारत ने आतंकवाद के खिलाफ कार्रवाई करने का अपना दृढ़ संकल्प पूरी दुनिया को बता दिया था। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने कहा कि 6-7 मई की रात को भारत ने पाकिस्तान और पाकिस्तान ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर में सिर्फ आतंकी ठिकानों को ही निशाना बनाया था। भारत के एक्शन बहुत ही मेजर्ड, प्रिसाइज और नॉन एस्केलेटरी थे। साथ ही भारत ने यह भी स्पष्ट कर दिया था कि पाकिस्तान की गोली का जवाब भारत गोले से देगा। 9 मई की रात को उपराष्ट्रपति वांस ने प्रधानमंत्री मोदी को फोन किया था। उपराष्ट्रपति वांस ने कहा था कि पाकिस्तान भारत पर बड़ा हमला कर सकता है। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने उन्हें साफ शब्दों में बताया था कि यदि ऐसा होता है तो भारत पाकिस्तान को उससे भी बड़ा जवाब देगा। 9-10 मई की रात को पाकिस्तान के हमले का भारत ने बहुत सशक्त जवाब दिया और पाकिस्तान की सेना को बहुत नुकसान पहुंचाया। उसके मिलिट्री एयर बेसिस को इनऑपरेबल बना दिया। भारत के मुंहतोड़ जवाब के कारण पाकिस्तान को भारत से सैन्य कार्रवाई रोकने का आग्रह करना पड़ा। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप को स्पष्ट रूप से कहा कि इस पूरे घटनाक्रम के दौरान कभी भी किसी भी स्तर पर भारत अमेरिका ट्रेड डील या अमेरिका द्वारा भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच मध्यस्थता जैसे विषयों पर बात नहीं हुई थी। सैन्य कार्रवाई रोकने की बात सीधे भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच दोनों सेनाओं की एग्जिस्टिंग चैनल्स के माध्यम से हुई थी और पाकिस्तान के ही आग्रह पर हुई थी। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने जोर देकर कहा कि भारत ने न तो कभी मध्यस्थता स्वीकार की थी, न करता है और न ही कभी करेगा। इस विषय पर भारत में पूर्ण रूप से राजनीतिक एकमत है। राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप ने प्रधानमंत्री द्वारा विस्तार में बताई गई बातों को समझा और आतंकवाद के खिलाफ भारत की लड़ाई के प्रति समर्थन व्यक्त किया। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने यह भी कहा कि भारत अब आतंकवाद को प्रॉक्सी वॉर नहीं, युद्ध के रूप में ही देखता है और भारत का ऑपरेशन सिंदूर अभी भी जारी है। राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप ने प्रधानमंत्री मोदी से पूछा कि क्या वे कनाडा से वापसी में अमेरिका रुक कर जा सकते हैं। पूर्व निर्धारित कार्यक्रमों के कारण प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने अपनी असमर्थता व्यक्त की। दोनों लीडर्स ने तब तय किया कि वे निकट भविष्य में मिलने का प्रयास करेंगे। राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप और प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने इजराइल ईरान के बीच चल रहे संघर्ष पर भी चर्चा की। रूस यूक्रेन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट पर दोनों ने सहमति जताई कि जल्द से जल्द शांति के लिए दोनों पक्षों में सीधी बातचीत आवश्यक है और इसके लिए प्रयास करते रहना चाहिए। इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र के संबंध में दोनों नेताओं ने अपने परिप्रेक्ष्य साझा किए और इस क्षेत्र में क्वाड की अहम भूमिका के प्रति समर्थन जताया। क्वाड की अगली बैठक के लिए प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप को भारत यात्रा का निमंत्रण दिया। राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप ने निमंत्रण स्वीकार करते हुए कहा कि वे भारत आने के लिए उत्सुक हैं।
A very powerful statement and delivered with absolute seriousness. Right? Now, look, what are the important things? Those of you who don't know Hindi, let me put it across. Due to India's firm action, Pakistan was compelled to request a cessation of military operations. Very clearly, the PM said the request came from Pakistan, and it was a matter of compellence. India compelled Pakistan. It was conveyed to President Trump that at no point during his entire sequence of events was there any discussion at any level on an India-US trade deal or any proposal for a mediation by the US between India and Pakistan. Prime Minister Modi firmly stated that India does not and will never accept mediation. No mediation. Also stated that India no longer views terrorism as a proxy war, but as a war itself, and that India's Operation Sindoor is still ongoing. This is the crux. This statement is the crux of this entire story, and we'll talk of it down the line. President Trump inquired if Prime Minister Modi could stop over in US on his way back from Canada. Due to prior commitments, Prime Minister Modi expressed his inability to do so. President Trump and Prime Minister Modi also discussed the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran. With regard to the Indo-Pacific region, both leaders shared their perspectives and expressed their support towards the significant role of Quad in this region. Right. I'll get back to this slide later after going through Pakistan, so that you understand the nuances of what I'm speaking and why this is a very, very significant message which has been already delivered with USA, and USA has no choice but to factor it in its operations against Iran. Right. We all know that Trump administration has played a dubious role, and Trump himself has played a dubious role. The thing with Trump is he lies. He's a pathetic liar. And it's left a bitter taste of betrayal in everyone's mouths. But we also need to understand, US and India are not wedded to each other. We have no sworn lifelong loyalty to each other. We need to work on that friends with benefits syndrome. What suits us, we take it. What suits them, fine. Otherwise, apna rasta na po bhai. The strategic partnership has limits. It's not a no-limit partnership like between China and Russia. We will get the best out of this. Let them get the best out of it. Where there is convergence, fine. Where there is divergence, let's accept that divergence and go ahead. And let's see what's good in that divergence. And I see a lot of good in this divergence where Pakistan and Pakistan and USA are getting together. It's an opportunity for us, but I'll prove it as we go along. Look, the first reaction from China in Guangzhou. What does it say? See the headlines. It says Trump met with Chief of Staff of the Pakistan Army to discuss the Israeli-Iran conflict. It's Irami, that's in Chinese translated, Iran conflict. So Chinese have taken note of it. And by now they'll be worried. All the nonsense about everything else which is going to be reported in Pakistani media, that they're back in with USA and they're this, that, and it's a vindication against India. Nonsense. The Chinese have got it absolutely right because the shoe pinches them. This is the beginning of Pakistan's troubles. What does dawn of today morning's dawn? It says the discussions also encompass avenues for expanding bilateral cooperation in multiple domains, including trade, economic development, mines and minerals, artificial intelligence, energy, cryptocurrency, and emerging technologies, the ISPR stated. Well, the talk between Asim Munir and Trump went for 2 hours. Okay, on Pakistan sides, who were there? It was Asim Munir and one bureaucrat, some joker, some minister, and their NSA. So the NSA doesn't go and discuss cryptocurrency and emerging technologies. He bloody doesn't know his bloody backside from his elbow. It's all military. बस एक ही कहानी है. उन्हें बोला होगा हम सब करेंगे आपके लिए, फिक्र मत करो. That's USA for you. उन्हें बोला no free lunches. Go back to Imran Khan. And then President Trump, this is all reported in Dawn. You can pick it out in that article in Dawn today. Right? President Trump expressed keen interest in forging a mutually beneficial trade partnership with Pakistan based on long-term strategic convergence and shared interests. This will not last till the next night. But that's a different story. Pakistan mein to bada, today they're very happy. But we'll go over. White House spokesman Anna Kelly said Trump hosted Munir after he called the president to be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for preventing a nuclear war between India and Pakistan. ये हम कल बात करेंगे with Sanjay Dixit ji in Jaipur Dialogues. This bit, but this is come out. What did Trump say? This is it.
The chief of staff of the Pakistani Army. Can you talk about Iran?
Yeah. Yeah, well, they know Iran very well, better than most. And they're not happy about anything. It's not that they're bad with Israel. They know them both, actually, but they probably, maybe they know Iran better. But they see what's going on, and he agreed with me. Reason I had him here, I wanted to thank him for not going into the war, just, ending the.
Okay, so this is the thing. He says, I was honored to meet with him.
Yeah.
And they know Iran very well.
Yeah, well, they know
Better
Iran
than
very
most.
well. Better than most.
Okay, better than most. They are not happy with about anything. They see what's going on, and he agreed with me, and they're going to go with him. So what has Trump done in this statement? Till yesterday, Asim Munir in USA was speaking against against Israel. Now he's changed tunes as per this. And you see that earlier statement from Dawn also. ये flip हो गया. And you must understand why this flip has happened. It's not overnight, or it's not immediate. You see, Asim Munir was in USA for about 3 days before this. 2 days he spent with the Central Command headquarters. He was briefed fully, and he must have been told what is expected out of him completely. Hey, bhai, what is it that you have to do for USA? And name your price. He would have named his price. And all this, and he went to Trump, had a lunch, and he said, yes, I'll give you everything. Whether USA will give everything or not is to be seen. Whether Pakistan is able to milk everything out of USA is also to be seen. But this is the story so far. Okay, na? Okay. But let's go back into history. This interaction between Asim Munir and Trump is not the first one between army chief of Pakistan and the president of USA. It started here. This one, John F. Kennedy and who? Who's this? This is Lyndon Johnson, and this is Field Marshal Ayub Khan. Baghdad Pad, Cento, 65 war. Then, of course, Yahya Khan and Nixon, they were great pals. Nixon supported Yahya Khan completely till Pakistan broke up. And then this relationship, Reagan with Ziaul Haq, and Reagan said, look, I'll give whatever you want. Before this, Jimmy Carter had given, at that time, mind you, $400 million to Pakistan. And Ziaul Haq very famously said, this is all peanuts. So he was given a couple of $1 billion then. When are you talking? You're talking of the 80s. And then Reagan gave him everything, and they started the war against Soviet Russia in Afghanistan. And that was a time when, the Mujahideen were formed. And Osama bin Laden was imported from Saudi Arabia to organize, activities against Soviet Russia. They're deep roots. And then, of course, 9/11 happened. George Bush said, you're with us or against us. If you're not with us, we'll bomb you back to Stone Age. Immediately, Pervez Musharraf ne palti mara. He flipped. And he started sucking USA out. And whatever USA did was God's gospel after that. Same thing has happened now. So, should it surprise us? No. Now a lot of things about Op Sindoor falls in place. Why did USA interfere? They knew this problem was going to happen. Probably if Op Sindoor didn't happen, we would be discussing the end of that action now. But well, they would have had to wait for that 60-day period from April 6th to June 6th. And then only things started. 61st day. That was a mohalat. That was a period which Trump gave. And Trump and the American establishment were very clear in their mind that Op Sindoor was going to throw this deal off track and the whole story off track. Right? So that is why America also came in very fast. The fact that they were hit badly and they went to uncle is now coming out. There's a video out by Ashok there. We'll talk about it tomorrow morning. Okay. See, this is history. This is what Sandeep Punithan, he's written in India Today. I thought that was very prescient and I got that out. He says the past engagements resulted in short-term gains for the Pakistan army, but long-term devastation for their country. How much more can Pakistan be devastated? It can only break up. I'm making this statement very clearly. How much more can Pakistan be devastated? It can only break up. General Headquarters Rawalpindi, which runs Pakistan, sees these as acceptable risks because they help in the long war against India. Okay? But they're going to act that side, think this side. They're going to break that country. And this is what I see. And this is what we'll see. Many of you will not probably agree to my hypothesis. Many of you will say, yaar, ye bewkoof kya baat kar raha hai? All that. The shrill people in our country will say, oh, this is not good. This is ye, wo. And a lot of people who are supposed to be strategists and think tank specialists and, celebrated authors and all will not do the analysis the way I'm doing. But here it goes. Okay. Remember, I showed this slide in the morning to all of you. I mean, this headline. This is a headline of New York Times. Trump, Iran and specter of Iraq. We bought all the happy talk. Why is this? If you go read this article, it's a very deep article. And you people, many of you won't have lived through the time of Iraq when it happened. I've lived through it. I've lived through Iraq 1 and Gulf War 1 and 2, especially 2. Many of you would know, but you probably won't understand the import of it. The story which was being spun off at that time by George Bush and Blair, Tony Blair of USA, was that Tony Blair, I always felt, was George Bush poodle, second fiddle to whatever USA did. Was that, look, we'll get this done quick. We'll go in, dismantle the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, reconstruct Iraq, do everything, and come out. And we'll put a multinational force there to, do everything. The whole thing should be wrapped up in about 5-6 months. In fact, they put a lot of pressure on India to send a division for reconstruction. We said, no, we will not do it. And USA was pretty miffed with us, but we held our ground. A lot of debate in India at that time, right? But no, we didn't agree to it. It's standing us in good stead now. Okay, now come to this. The same story, there is a churn today in USA about this, and we'll talk of that tomorrow morning. Some interesting opinions are now coming out from USA. Should you get into Iran and make the mistake what you did in Iraq? Or do something else? Or do some just aerial bombing? But that will unfold on its own tomorrow, day after. We'll see how it goes. It might happen tonight. I don't know. Okay. It all depends on Trump. And Trump must be thinking of it. I give him credit. He didn't become president of USA just like that. He must be thinking of it. So this is going to be a tall, long order. Again, I say, it doesn't matter which side the dice rolls. It doesn't matter whether Iran survives in the current form, whether it doesn't survive in the current form and the regime change, whether it has nukes or not. This is going to be a long drawn affair. And Pakistan understands this. You'll see things happening. Okay. So this is a long-term affair. It's not a short-term affair. People say this Fox. Fox is, Trump's megaphone. I showed this in the morning also. Trump privately has approved of attack plans for Iran, but has withheld the final order. That's what he said. That's right, probably. And things are getting into place. Aircraft carriers are moved. There are 4 aircraft carriers in that, including a British one. A lot of tankers are moved in there. From Bahrain and Udaidad Air Base in Qatar, there are no aircraft. They're all gone. They're wherever they are gone. The ships from Bahrain in their ports, they're all at sea. Battle stations, they're all waiting for the word go, from what one can make out. But the final order has not come. What will be that order? We don't know. But we'll see how it goes. Don't worry. Look at this. So this entire area, right? All these countries are going to get affected. But Pakistan is going to get affected the most. Why? For any reason, if I were to conduct operations into Iran, if I have to do operations in this belt, Eastern Iran and Northern Iran, I need Afghanistan and Pakistan minimum. Afghanistan is underdeveloped. There are no air bases there. But Pakistan has. And if I'm looking only at an air operation, I need them. It is not as if Iran's air defense is down completely. It's still there. If I have to let my B-52s go or B-2s go into this area, I need a clear air defense. And if something happens, I need recovery capability. Who gives me that? Pakistan. And that is why Munir has been given that lunch. It will be a very costly lunch. What do they want? These are the two air bases, nearest air bases, Samungli and Pasni. There's one more airfield at Gwadar, built by China, that might be taken over. It's not yet come out, but it's a matter of time. And if that happens, it's going to be big. Okay, that's a beautiful international air base, right? And that, I mean, it's an international airport, which can be used. Where is Gwadar? Just here, 100 kilometers away from the Iranian border. Nothing like having a base there. And will the Chinese be happy about it? No. Everyone thinks Samungli and Pasni. Pasni is 300 kilometers away. Why not have it on the edge of Iran? अभी तो खेल बाकी है, अभी तो ट्रेलर भी शुरू नहीं हुआ दोस्त. For those of you who don't understand, in this picture the trailer also has not started. Long way to go. A very interesting conversation I picked up in GeoTV today. It's in Twitter. You go scan, you get it. So there's nothing original. But look at it from the Pakistani viewpoint. What do Pakistanis think? So that is important.
अदील मलिक साहब, ये जो लड़ाई है ईरान की और इसराइल की लड़ाई है, इसके आपको पाकिस्तान की मईशत और सियासत पे क्या असरात नजर आ रहे हैं?
देखिए, बहुत गहरे असरात होंगे, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान को मशरिक वस्ता के साथ जो चीज लिंक करती है वो ईरान बहुत बड़ा लिंक है, और ईरान एक फसील के तौर पे था हमारे और मशरिक वस्ता के दरमियान. अगर
So he's already said there's going to be a deep impact on Pakistan from all points of view. Okay, now you see how he explains what is going to happen. Yeah.
ईरान में हुकूमत जाती है और एक नई पॉलिटिकल रियलिटी आती है, तो तल अवीव से लेके बलूचिस्तान तक एक ही पावर होगी जो रूल करेगी, और वो आपके दरवाजे पे आ जाएगी. फिर हिंदुस्तान का जो ईरान के साथ ताल्लुक था, उसमें फिर भी ईरान एक, अभी जो हुकूमत है वो एक तवाजुन रखती है. यानी
So the second point he's made is from Tel Aviv to Iran till the border. If there's a change of regime in Iran from till the Pakistan border to Tel Aviv, as per Pakistan, it's going to be a Zionist regime or a Zionist-backed government everywhere, whether it's in Syria, whether it's in Lebanon, whether it's in Iraq and Iran. And on the other side, you have India. So they're going to be squeezed. That's what they say.
पाकिस्तान के साथ एंगेज करती है क्योंकि वो ग्लोबल साउथ का मुल्क है, लेकिन पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ एक हद से ज्यादा नहीं. अब अगर ये हुकूमत चली जाती है तो आपके एक तरफ हिंदुत्व होगा और दूसरी तरफ ज़ायनिस्ट इन्फ्लुएंस होगा. और तीसरी बड़ी चीज जो हमें सोचने की है वो ये कि जब इराक पे,
see, look at what he says. If this regime change happens, on one side will be Hindutva, on the other side there will be Zionist. That's scary for Pakistan, right? And all these scares are coming out. And Mr. Munir has gone and done the deal with Trump. Just watch the fun going ahead.
हुआ तो जो तरीका है, जो पैटर्न है इजराइल का, वो ये है कि वो इंटरनल बॉर्डर्स तब्दील कर देते हैं. यानी बैरूनी आपके सरहदें नहीं बदलती, लेकिन अंदरूनी सरहदें बदल जाती हैं. जिस तरह लिबिया है, लिबिया में 2-3 हिस्सों में डिवाइड हो चुका है. इराक में कुर्दिस्तान बनाया गया, और कुर्दिस्तान की जो हुकूमत है वो अमली तौर पे उस पे इजरायली और खास तरह का वही जियोपॉलिटिकल इन्फ्लुएंस है, उनको ऑटोनॉमी है. तो हमारे लिए जो बड़ा एक चैलेंज होगा वो ये कि क्या ये तो नहीं कि बलूचिस्तान, ग्रेटर बलूचिस्तान की तरफ जाते हैं, और जिस तरह कुर्दिस्तान में एक हुकूमत बनाई गई और स्टेट विद इन ए स्टेट, उस तरह से हमारे बॉर्डर
नहीं. लेकिन अदील मलिक साहब, जो ग्रेटर बलूचिस्तान का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, उसका जो मैप है, उसमें सिर्फ पाकिस्तानी बलूचिस्तान तो नहीं है ना, उसमें तो ईरान का बलूचिस्तान भी है और उसमें अफगानिस्तान के कुछ हिस्से भी शामिल हैं. तो 3 मुल्कों को तोड़ के ग्रेटर बलूचिस्तान बनता है.
तो एक बिल्कुल ये बनता है. और इसमें देखिए, जो बड़ी चीज हमें समझनी चाहिए कि जो जियोपॉलिटिकल चेस बोर्ड है उसमें एक यूरेशिया ब्लॉक है और एक मिडिल ईस्ट है. तो अगर यहाँ पे रियलिटी तब्दील होती है तो जो यूरेशिया है और मिडिल ईस्ट है उसके दरमियान खत्म हो जाएगा फासला. और उसमें हमें ये समझना चाहिए कि जो चीन है, वो जब हमने अफगानिस्तान में अमेरिका की मदद की तो उस वक्त चीन साइड पे बैठा था, ऑब्जर्व कर रहा था, रिलक्टेंटली एंगेज कर रहा था। लेकिन अब अगर यहाँ पे सूरत हाल बिगड़ती है तो चीन का डायरेक्ट स्टेक होगा, क्योंकि ये पूरी यूरेशियन पॉलिटिक्स को शेप करेगी।
ठीक है।
इस लिहाज से मेरे ख्याल में हमारे लिए, हमारे डिसीजन मेकर्स के लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि पाकिस्तान की इस वक्त जो सबसे कमजोर कड़ी है, जिसको हम वीकेस्ट लिंक कहते हैं, वो बलूचिस्तान है। इसलिए हमें बलूचिस्तान में लोगों को नुमाइंदगी, हकीकी नुमाइंदगी देनी चाहिए, पॉलिटिकल डायलॉग शुरू करना चाहिए और अपने हाउस को फौरी तौर पे इन ऑर्डर करें, क्योंकि हमें इस वक्त जो चेंजेस हैं वो दस्तक दे रही हैं हमारे दरवाजे।
See, he is very clear, and they are very clear. Balochistan is their weakest link, and now they have to start talking of politically to all those people. Will they be able to do it? Maybe tomorrow or day after, I'll talk of Balochistan. We'll talk of interesting things come out, because many of you won't understand what's happening in Balochistan. And he is giving the examples of what's happened in Iraq, what's happened in Syria, where both Iraq and Syria are split, where there are states within states. The Kurd is a state within state in Iraq, and something is happening in Syria also that way. Syria might be a country, but there are factions fighting within. If tomorrow Iran goes into that, and then you find Sistan Balochistan and Pakistan Balochistan something happening, then Pakistan is in terrible shape. And he's saying this. I agree with him. In fact, India should start thinking this. There's something which we have to understand this. Okay. Right. Let's get ahead. Okay. Let me now go country by country and put it across to you as to what are the impacts on Pakistan and everywhere. Iran. Iran is going to go into long-term problems. And the problems of Iran, which will be long-term, will generate problems for Pakistan on its western borders, which we just saw. Pakistan is telling us. There's an illegal oil economy between Iran and Pakistan, and that's going to be hit badly. That's already hit, in fact. So if Pakistan's economy is limping, it's going to hobble or whatever this thing. It might go into stretcher bearer mode. Now, what about China? That guy already in GeoTV said China has to start taking an active role. China must, that's why for the first time you saw this article coming out in Guancha. They must be very worried about CPEC. They must be very worried about Gwadar. What if tomorrow they say, okay, forget about CPEC, forget about China and all. This airport is in Pakistan, I'm going to operate off that. Then what happens to China? If Gwadar airport tomorrow becomes a US airbase, what about Chinese influence in the country? Now, they'll have to vie for influence with USA. And remember, traditionally, the US guys, the Pakistanis prefer US to China. Right. Let's look at the Israel angle. For Pakistan, Israel is the sworn enemy. Few days back, there was someone from Iran who was mentioning that, look, if something happens to our nuclear thing, Pakistan will put a nuclear attack on Israel. That was a talk few days back. Then the Pakistani Deputy Prime Minister said, no, we'll not do all that because our nuclear assets are not to go all around. If we use it there, what will happen to us against India and all that? Now, will that continue? Whole story is changed, right? Against Israel. Now, where you wanted or you're thinking of putting nukes against Israel, or it's being suggested, now you are supporting Israel to defeat Iran. See the flip, you're being forced. And that's what Trump said, he's good with Israel. You gave out a declaration against Iran, against Israel, Asim Munir gave out a declaration against Israel one day before he met Trump. Trump has said, no, he's good with Israel. और ये चुप आ गया लंच का के अभी लाइक आई सेड ट्रेलर है अभी बाकी पिक्चर अभी बाकी है and then there's a lot of fears within Pakistan that if Iran falls or something happens in Iran, the next target will be Pakistan. And why not? I mean, I agree with them. There would be fear. They would be. So this is where Pakistan is. Of course, USA and Trump are interested in crypto and minerals in Pakistan. So they'll enter. When they enter, they'll seek influence. If they seek influence, that is going to be countered by China or whatever happens. So this is going to be a battleground. And then look at the internal problems. Suddenly, this army field marshal G will be at sea. How to manage the situation? Radicals will come up and say, "What is this nonsense?" Okay, and then this Baluch freedom struggle, which way it will go? It's a bugger's model for Pakistan. The whole story is here in this area. It's going to be played out here, and that's the weakest link of Pakistan. I agree with many of you. You will say, what is this weakest link? Weakest link, Balochistan. Because it's been a long time since I did a video on Balochistan. We'll talk of it. Maybe tomorrow, or not tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll follow the war. Maybe day after or the day after that. My view is Pakistan is going to have its hands full. Yesterday I said it in Hindi. Today I'm saying it in English. One of the best things we can do is buy a pair of Ray-Bans, put on a straw hat, get a nice cocktail or a mocktail or nice, cool, long, tall drink with a straw, the kind you get in Las Vegas and all those places. Okay, put a garden umbrella, get a deck seat, put your legs up and watch the show. We are in the balcony seat. Okay. I mean, many might not agree with it. This is the way I look at it. And that's why I gave that first slide. It doesn't matter which side things go, will be okay for us. This whole story is opening opportunities. So this is the bigger $1 million question in Pakistan. Will Pakistan be the next target of Israel? I hope so. Okay, now let me get back. Let me get back to the thing why I started this statement, which is very important. I've highlighted a few things here. Prime Minister Modi firmly stated that India does not and will never accept mediation. So, what is the subtext in this? Why has it been conveyed? So when there are no conditions, see what Mr. Modi has done is there are no conditions for India doing anything or nothing in this business of USA in Israel with Pakistan, USA in Iran with Pakistan. Whatever deal Pakistan does with USA or USA does with Pakistan to go into Israel or not has no value for us. Let them do. That has no bearing on what we have to do with Pakistan. So no mediation. There will be no mediation between India and Pakistan. So tomorrow if you do something on IWT and Pakistan goes all round to USA and say, oh, I'm helping you talk to India. Mr. Modi has already said no mediation. You get lost nowhere, you will come in between. I'll do what I have to do. If on Kashmir there's some talk, Kashmir mein to chance nahi hai, IWT is the one I look at it. So that mediation angle in IWT has vanished. A very powerful message. People have not understood this. I mean, the day before yesterday when I heard this, oh, well, I said, wow, this is great. No mediation. Second point, which is major point, Prime Minister Modi also stated that India no longer views terrorism as a proxy war but as an act of war. And that, right, that's the important point. It views it as an act of war. Look, a lot of activities of Pakistan, terror activities, for example, the attack on parliament. When attack on parliament happened, we couldn't go in. Why? Because the American troops were there. The Americans headed us off. Or for that matter, any of the thing. Because the Americans were in Pakistan, we couldn't do anything against Pakistan. Here we have very clearly said, any act of terror is an act of war and we'll act. And Operation Sindoor is still on. Very, very great message. And Operation Sindoor, I don't think will now close till this Operation Rising Lion closes. It will continue. In any case, all these operations continue for a year, 2 years. Because there are financial issues, war, many things happen. And those things have to be settled financially much later. That's a normal norm. So these operations continue, because if you're under operation, you can do certain things and adjustments and writing off things and all that. Under that, if that operation closes, you can't do that. So legally, you have to keep that operation on for the next 2 years. Let it be on for 3 years from my side. I mean, it might be 1 year, 2 years. It depends on how things are. So if Operation Sindoor is still on and this has been conveyed, and if Pakistan carries out any act of terror, you can hit him. Whether American troops are there or not. Tomorrow, American troops might establish a base in Pakistan in somewhere. Or Pakistan might be giving services to USA. That has been disaggregated from Sindoor. Very, very important thing. That's why I said this is the crux of the whole story. Now it is incumbent on USA. If it wants to prosecute ops against Iran the way it wants, it's incumbent on USA to keep Pakistan in check. So you brought safety. There will be no terror attack. If it happens, you hit him. You hit him, USA will get hit in some manner. So USA will now take care and keep Pakistan on the leash. And as Pakistan is kept on the leash, the internal issues will take over. Don't worry, this is what I foresee. Okay. Then President Trump inquired if Modi could stop over in US, and Mr. Modi said sorry. So another major issue, that you can arm twist small countries to do what you want them to do, but no more. No whims and fancies of the US president against India. That's what I have written. India will not pander to US whims. That message is gone. What will be the repercussions of this on India is to be seen. We'll see. Don't worry. Nothing will happen. Yeah. President Trump and Prime Minister Modi also discussed the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran. Of course, Russia and Ukraine were also discussed. So Trump felt it necessary to speak to Mr. Modi on this. And he might have said, look, this is the way I'm going to deal with Pakistan. That's not come out. No one will tell you this. And he felt it necessary to talk to India before he started his gambit with Pakistan. He wanted India in a manner, there's an understanding between India and USA before he went into a deal with Pakistan. 30 minutes talk, we don't know what they spoke. After all, the foreign secretary spoke only for 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And I've only made 7 points. I thought this is the most important thing. I'm analyzing it. Okay. And then they spoke about the Indo-Pacific. So China is not out of the equation. Quad, Indo-Pacific was also spoken of. So they both conscious that there's still convergence on China between India and USA, and there's a larger partnership going. It's not, like I said, let's be transactional. Okay. Are we worried that USA will do anything to us? To hell with them. And this is what we learned in 1971. We were a poor nation then. We didn't have enough grains in this country to feed our people for 3 meals in a day. And we had no GDP, nothing. And yet we created a country in 14 days. Yeah, Abhita, we are probably fourth largest economy in the world. How are we bothered? What can you do? Okay, we'll not become the third largest economy for till next year. So what if? Or another 1 year. So what if? How does it matter? We're not going to collapse. Nothing is going to happen to us. If you become the third largest economy after 2 years, how does it matter? In any case, this is not a one-way street. It's a two-way dependency. So for all those people who are talking differently, I see things differently. You might like it, not like it. You don't like it, fine. If you like it, press the like button. Okay. Then let's talk of China. What's China's role in this whole story? After all, China had a $4 billion investment into Iran. And this is the heading which came out in Forbes 4 years back. It complicates US options. What's happened to that complication? Where is China today? And same thing, and around that time, New York Times came out with this. I've gone back 4 years to read all this. Defying US, China and Iran near trade and military partnership. What's happened to that military partnership today? Today, do you see anything? Oh, there are reports that some 3 aircraft have come to help Iran out. Here, in such a huge thing, 3 aircraft worth of stores will help bail out Iran. Some spares would have come at best. I mean, so China has not done. In fact, I heard a Russian analyst who's saying China has just run away from here. They have maximum interest. They don't have force capability to handle it. After all, please remember, they have a base at Djibouti, some ships are in Gwadar. Yet there's not a single word from China till today. And you want to know what the word from China is? Let's see that next one. I mean, this is what he said. This fellow is, what are they doing? They're evacuating people from here. He says, with the active assistance and support of nearby countries, our ministry and the Chinese embassy and consulate in Iran have organized and coordinated the evacuation of 791 Chinese citizens from Iran to safety. And another 1,000 plus people are still being relocated and evacuated. Our embassies and consulates in neighboring countries, including Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, have sent working groups to border. So, abhi bhag rahe hain bhai. Chinese are running away. They are leaving Iran high and dry. Just think what is happening to Chinese in the continuum of what's happened in Op Sindoor and what's happening now. Who will depend on Chinese after this? Do they have any capabilities? We have overestimated these fools. And what is their interest in this region? They are vulnerable today. They're so vulnerable you cannot imagine. China imports 3/4 of their energy requirements from this area. All goes through Strait of Hormuz. And 43% of that comes from 43% comes from Iran. They have BRI investments in this area. Everyone thought, China had done something great in the deal between Saudis and Iran. Where are they now? That strategic partnership with Iran has gone. I've just explained to you. Go back in time. What happened when Hezbollah was dismantled? China was helping Hezbollah. They just could do nothing. What happened when Syria got dismantled? It went to topsy-turvy. Again, they got kicked out. I mean, 1 year before that, Xi Jinping sent his personal plane to get Assad out, Bashir al-Assad to China. Gone. They now abandoned Iran. They are marginalized in Iraq, not in Iran, in Iraq. They have no say. They have no say right from Tel Aviv to Tehran. They have no say left now. Again, in this also Chinese equipment have failed. The Iranians had anti-drone equipment that has failed. And overall US dominance has increased. Have you heard any statement from China? If this is the only statement which China can give, कि भाई we are evacuating from here. वो तो भाग रहे हैं भैया लपेट के. Russia, I mean, look at it. Russia, in April or sometime around that time, April, I think, April. Moscow and Tehran had a strategic partnership agreement which involved provisions for both countries to counter shared threats. Today saying no, that's only to share threats to counter and all that. It's not an alliance. And this happened in April. It's not an alliance. Huh? So that strategic partnership which was spoken of, and that was the time, January, February, everyone started speaking of crick, prick and all that. Crink, prink and all that nonsense. That, China, Pakistan, Iran, North Korea, Russia, they'll form an alternate global order and all that. What happened to that? Gone. Now Putin is playing all sides. He's spoken to Netanyahu, he's spoken to Trump, he's spoken to Khamenei or whoever in Iran. And he's not given them anything. Incidentally, Russia is happy with the war. Oil prices will go up. Then they'll sell more to China because China will not be able to get money from. If this Strait of Hormuz is blocked and oil gets disrupted, they'll have to buy more from Russia at costlier prices. And oil goes up, China's economy gets screwed. That's Russia's thinking. And this I'm getting to you from what Russia is, from Russian, whatever they have written. And then they're busy with Russia, Ukraine, and they have limited capacity at this point of time. So that's how it is. So this is what one Russian said. Like Syria, like Iraq, if they break up into various competing regions tomorrow, something happens. They'll be like this. Of course, the guy who tweeted out is my friend John Helmer. You might have competing districts within Iran. And look at this Baluchistan. And this side is, of course, Pakistan. Will they join? And somewhere, if you go into, one of my earlier podcasts with General Narayanan, the long-term plan is this. Look at this. This is Iran, Pakistan, this area. So is USA working to that? Will that result in this? Will this result into that? So all these are there. I'm sorry, I've taken a long time, but I thought this is how it is. And tomorrow we'll follow up with the normal thing, what's happening in the war, Daddy. Thanks a lot. I'll take some questions. I'll not take too many questions because I have some other commitment immediately after this. I'll take a few questions. Adesh Kumar, thanks for becoming a new YouTube member. I wish more join in. And Marxist nationalist, thanks a lot. Jai Hind to you. Right. Let me take a few questions and then a lot of things. I don't know how will I go through. Let me see. Yeah. Trump says he will provide aid as well as weapons. Hope it does. All that is hope like hell. Nothing will happen. Yeah. And sir, people to sub in between pods. How I so good. I've been subbed. Been watching your podcast for months. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So ask people to sub in. Yeah. Look, I am not to this thing. I can say it in the beginning or in the end. I can't keep mentioning to please subscribe. In the end, I put it. Yeah, the thumbnail image correctly projects the master-slave relationship that exists between Americans and Pakis. I agree with you. Yeah. Your greetings from the West Coast today of the Eastern Naval Commands. Thank you. Gee, thanks a lot for attending. Your comments disappeared. No, I don't think so. What I've told you is if your comment, whenever you people who've seen their comments disappearing, start taking screenshots of your comments. If they disappear, get back to me, give me a complaint, right? And I will take it up with YouTube officially. AM Kamath, namaskar, thanks a lot. There's a rule of a hypersonic 10 Mach missile. All that is nonsense. Don't go by all this. Okay. Mrs. Claire, Jai Hind, Lofi, good greetings. Hans, thanks a lot. Yeah, your audio needs to be a bit sharper if you don't mind saying so. I have no problem, but I don't know whether my audio is bad. I've got the best Mac. If the best Mac can't give me the best audio, then something wrong with I've reached my limit. Okay. Yeah. Suhas, namaskaralu. Thank you. Okay. Will West actually relook at their policies because of PM Modi's statement on double standards of terrorism, or will it be just business as usual? If later, can we lobby for the change? We have to do both. Be prepared for both. See, the West will try to do what it's in its best interest. You have to do what's in your best interest. But you have stated your case upfront. They have no choice but to follow you. Yeah, Amitesh, I've already answered this. If the regime change is there in Iran, India and Iran relations will be very good. Don't worry. Either way will be good. Yeah, it'll take some time, but I'm sure your viewership and subscription. I'm also sure. I'm in no hurry. I'll do things the way I like. What will be the India's response if China gives DF-17 missiles to Pakistan? Well, it's hypothetical, Ajay. Why? It's hypothetical because it costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of investment. And now with the way things are with Americans landing up in Pakistan, Chinese will think 100 times before giving them the latest equipment. If anything is given to Pakistan today, I don't see that J-35 also being given. Americans will get hold of it one day. You see, one of the outflows of this is Pakistan might not get the next generation equipment from anyone. Yeah. Yeah, Trump trying to do Gujarati is how to do trade. I agree with you. Okay, now that Pakistan is moving closer to the US, how would its relations with China evolve? I told you, I explained to you, right? I explained this whole story, Satya, to you in the end. one by one. Let me see. Uh, yeah, Asim Munir wants Nobel Prize for Trump. We'll see that. We'll discuss this tomorrow. With Iran seemingly losing relevance, a weakened Russia, Pakistan, and USA as good books, China progressing in a placid environment, is Bharat entering a period of uncertainty with hostile neighbors. I'll put it this way: it's not Bharat alone. Everyone is going into uncertain phase, but we have tremendous strengths, and that's something which we have to leverage to our advantage. And every change is an opportunity, and we should take that. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, Somnath Bose, two Paltoram having lunch together. I agree with you. Thanks a lot. A past president said Pakistan knew all about Afghanistan, so US burned taxpayers' money for 20 plus years. The current president who criticized that past president, okay. Yeah, possible. All this in Pakistan, all this is yeah, don't worry about it. Right? Do you think Pakistan is going to provide direct military support against Iran or just some air bases? It'll be just air bases. It can't give military support. Right? And that's the problem. They will not be able to explain this out to their own populace. Okay, that's one of the problems which is going to be they're going to face. Yeah, after US get what it wants, Pakistan will lose its utility. Trump will lie Baloch knowing they will be independent. US presence won't really affect India's regional trade, but will make China. I agree with you. Ashok Gazula, yes, sir, definitely everything works in chaos of complexity with some kind of simplicity. 100%. Oh, this is something new. I prefer the collaborations Lieutenant General Shankar brings to this discussion than the one he goes to. See, when you go to someone else, you have to go by what they want you to speak. Here, I let myself free. I let my own things free. So that's the way I look at it. I understand. But many times people might not like what I say. That's a different story. Oh, General Narayanan has not appeared on Gunner Shot for a while. He used to be. No, he's gone on some assignment. In fact, tomorrow I'm meeting him. We keep meeting regularly. Maybe US wants to activate ISKP through. No, don't worry. Don't get into all these small things. Look at the bigger picture to now. Don't get into ISKP, ISKP. How can US think of it? Then those guys will sabotage them. All that is out. Yeah, he was called by army for some important work. He had to go and speak to a few people. Okay. No distilled water for reactor with a hole in Arak. Yeah. Should we worry if Munir gets new and technological advanced weapons from the US, or are we much Don't worry, that's very far off. I don't think US will give anything significant to. Like I said, when there's a competition in Pakistan between China and USA, no one will give the latest weapons to Pakistan. I mean, Pakistan has got into a problem. What is a hyper glide vehicle? I think I'll have to do a full discussion on this. I'll explain to you various kinds of propulsion. I'll speak to you about propulsion. It's been skipping my mind. What is a hyper? Because it's not easy to explain. I'll explain to you with pictures. Just wait, Rajnikant. Yeah. Amazingly well put together talk. Your voluntary single-handed efforts are more informative than entire hordes of paid report. Well, this is my hobby. For them, it's their pesha. So I do it with a different, thing. That's about all. It's a pleasure. Thanks a lot, Malika, for coming in. Yeah, how things, Malik Ji from Germany. It looks bad, and I believe it's going to become worse. China is the pigeon among the cats. What if China facilitates terror attack trace back? I don't think China is in a position to do. They will do something naughty, but if you see, that's why I keep interjecting what's happening in China politically, economically. They are in a bad shape. Don't you think the mad mullahs will turn against us? No, don't worry. Look, those chaps are not exactly mad. Huh? They've ruled Iran from 79 to now. They know what, and this fellow's ruled from 37 years. He's ruled. Ayatollah Khamenei. He's not a fool. Don't ever think. Okay. Vasu Iyengar, what price would Munir have likely named, and if it arms, to what extent would USA oblige, given India importance of India-USA relationship? See, in this case, I don't think Asim Munir had leverage. Either way, he would have got screwed because already Pakistan had given him $1 billion, right, through IMF, and there's 40 billion more to come in over the next 10 years. All that is already, that carrot is dangling. That's good enough. उसके ऊपर उसको कुछ चिल्लर दे दिया होगा. And you would have said, if you don't do it, you get nothing. That message they would have got. Okay, and on the other hand, you would have said, I'll do something else. After all, USA can do a lot in Pakistan. Or else I'll bloody just take over and you will see what you do. So he's come in line. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Pakistan is in a mode where they can't swallow the venom they made and can't bite the enemy they created. I agree with you. Very nicely put. Geopolitics is a strange way of coming back and biting where it hurts the most. I agree. You have to be very steady. Okay. Yeah, we should discussion, you, Rajiv Narayanan and Janil Dushan. Hopefully in Sunday, we should be together. Hopefully. Let's see. If Shreya puts it together, we should be discussing. Okay. Prashant Kashyap, he says, Pakistan worships dollar more than anything. For them, dollar is the ultimate god. I completely agree with you. Okay, let me take. Yeah, Kalraj has come back after a long time. What is a smart way to navigate the rise of India, as there are no true friends but friends with benefits? Well, it depend on your own. You're on your own. Let's do things on our own. There's nothing stopping us. Okay, there's no problem at all in that. Where's the issue? Okay, what's the difference you observed in our country between the thinking of a civilian and a military person in relation to politics, geopolitics? Well, not much. Not much, really, not much. It's the way you approach things. The military person starts thinking slightly in militaristic terms. A civilian will look at economic terms, commercial terms, diplomatic terms. But at some level, we are both convergent. There's a requirement for the civilian and the military people to be together so that one's rough edges are taken up by the other and we act together. So that's how it is. And that's true for all countries. It's just not for India. Thanks a lot, Sudhakar, for joining me as a member. So grateful to you. And then, sir, you have given a very elaborate description of scenario to relax, chill, and enjoy the show. And that's how it is. It doesn't mean you just go to sleep. You have to still have your antlers out and be careful of what's happening. Okay, that's important. Yeah. Apart from IMF loan, what else is Pakistan getting from US? It'll come out. We'll come to know. It's a matter of time. Be patient. It also depends on how things pan out in Iran. Actually, we'll come to know in a few days. Okay, right. Ronaldo says bullseye. Thank you. Okay. Is there any other question? Yeah, Pakistan salivating towards US and lifting one leg on China. Yeah, that's a dog. You described a dog. The dog, yeah, I agree with you. Okay. Okay, right. That's it. Rupai and Dev. Sorry to be absent, was a bit busy, sir. Thanks a lot. Watched your YouTube videos. Excellent thoughts, please. Thank you. Thanks for watching. At least let me call out all members who are here. We will be able to perform the same militarily. Will we be able to perform the same militarily if top US technology is given to them? Top US technology will not be given to Pakistan. Don't worry. I'm very confident of that. General wonders if General Rajiv Narayanan spoke with Tamil with you. Not necessarily. We are more comfortable in Hindi and English, incidentally. Yeah. Yeah, Psychapian. Huge respect from Brisbane, sir. Yeah, you are from Synex School, Kapurthala. I can make out Psychapian. And oh, this is nice. I am Himanshu Maurya. I used to follow you for 6 months before my CapFac in 2024 interview. Because of you, I made it to my interview and scored 197. Thanks and congratulations. Do well and have a great, career ahead. Wish you all the best. And thanks a lot, Dr. MPC, for becoming a member. Well, how will Afghanistan play its card against Pakistan after Tehran falls? We'll see. Too early. But US has got US has got Afghanistan in its grip. Don't worry. Yeah, on a lighter note, can India do a Mullah Muni regime change before? No, it won't happen. Right. Okay. I think we're done for the day. Thanks a lot. We'll come back in the morning, 9 o'clock, join in. We'll take a review of what's happening in the past 24 hours. It's very interesting. We're seeing a war unfold in front of our eyes. So let's see what happens till tomorrow. Till then, have a great night. Enjoy yourselves wherever you are. And see you till tomorrow. See you tomorrow morning. Jai Hind.